الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأتم الحج والعمرة لله فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير زاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بني الإسلام على 5 شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة والحج وصوم رمضان أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, brothers. We gather again today for Salatul Jumu'ah. And today's topic I've actually chosen to speak about Hajj. See, Hajj is from one of the pillars of Islam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this in the Quran when He says, وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. Complete Hajj and Umrah for who? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam also mentions this in Hadith. بُنِيَ الْإِسْلَامُ عَلَى خَمْسٍ. The Islam has been built upon 5 things, 5 pillars, يعني. And from this he mentions Hajj, and he mentions Hajj also. And we all know what Hajj is. And inshallah, if we have time, I actually do Hajj seminars every year in few different places, few different masajid. I don't think I can do much justice to this talk in 10-15 minutes. However, inshallah, let's see how much we can deliver today, inshallah, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers, Hajj is from one of those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made fard upon the Ummah Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Upon whom is Hajj fard? Hajj is fard upon, mandatory, compulsory upon every single Muslim who has the means, financial means, who is able and mentally stable also. Hajj becomes fard on this person. A person who has enough money to cover his Hajj ticket and his expenses over there, and also this person is mentally stable and physically stable, upon this person Hajj becomes fard. This also includes a woman, a sister who has the financial means, she's mentally stable, physically stable. Hajj is also fard upon her. But with women, we have this extra condition, which is she needs to have a mahram with her to go, or she needs to go with her husband. Now, many scholars have said that if a woman has reached a point in which she has the financial means and physically and mentally she's able to go for Hajj, but her husband is refusing to go with her, then she needs to get one of her mahram, yani her uncle or her son or her nephews, to go with her and still continue to go for Hajj. She doesn't need the permission of the husband at this moment. Why? Because it's become fard on her now. And when something is fard, as we know, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. That when it comes to obeying the Creator, right, we will not, when it comes to disobeying the Creator, we will not obey the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if a woman needs to go, she needs to go. She should go for Hajj anyway. Moving on, brothers, I'll tell you something that makes me really sad nowadays. Myself, brothers, ayyuhal ikhwa, I went for Hajj in 2011 and I went with my dad. And Allahu Akbar, in 2015, I went again, and this time I went on behalf of my father-in-law who had passed away. It was Hajj Badal, and I took my wife with me also. So, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, I've been able to go for Hajj twice. And I'll tell you something, for those of you who have gone for Hajj, you can confirm this. That once you go for Hajj once, every year around this time of the year, you feel like, okay, I wish I was there also. I personally don't like this time of the year because I think to myself, why am I here? When I see people wearing the ihram clothes or they're saying, I'm going for Hajj, I'm really happy for them. But at the same time, I feel a bit sad because I think, okay, I wish I was there with you, because it's the most beautiful time of the year and the most beautiful place to be. It is difficult, but it's amazing. But I'll tell you what makes me sad, ayyuhal ikhwa. When I hear brothers and sisters, right, making excuses like, I don't have the financial means, or I'm not ready this year, right? It disappoints me when it comes from the following individuals, because I see people going for holidays 2 or 3 times a year. They'll be going Dubai, as a family, they'll be going Dubai. And then you'll see the family going Bangladesh or Pakistan, or they'll be going Turkey and Spain. You have money for this. You have the mental stability for this. You have the physical stability for this. But when it comes to going for Hajj, I'm not ready. Brother, I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready this year. Let me tell you something, my brothers, and convey this message onto the sisters at home as well. Once you reach the financial means, right, and you have the physical ability and mentally you are stable also, it becomes fard on you from that moment. Now the ulama say that until you go for Hajj, because you have the means, then you will be sinful. It's like delaying Salah. Do you understand, ikhwa? It's like delaying Salah. So Allah has made it fard upon you now. You have the stability, you have the means, you need to go for Hajj straight away. And don't delay. Now then, I have this question. This question has been coming to me a lot recently. Akhi, in 2001 or 2010, I had about 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. Hajj was fard on me then, but I didn't go. But now Hajj is minimum 10,000 pounds. This is what people are telling me. Minimum 10,000 to 12,000 pounds. But I don't have that sort of money. What do I do? The answer is, you know what? You didn't go then. It doesn't mean the Hajj, the obligation has been dropped from you. You should have gone when you had the means, when you had the money. Now you don't have the means and the money, you only have 5,000 pounds and it's gone up to 10,000, 12,000 pounds. Tough luck, you'll have to arrange the money somehow. Even if it means you have to sell a few things, you have to borrow money from people, do this. But you still have to go for Hajj, because now that it's become fard upon you, this obligation will not drop. You need to go for Hajj. Allahu Akbar. Once a person makes intention to go for Hajj, wallahi, ayyuhal ikhwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open doors for you. And like I said to you, ayyuhal ikhwa, that myself personally, I've gone for Hajj twice. The second time, and I'll be very honest with you, brothers, I actually didn't have the money for Hajj at that time. I didn't actually have the money. But subhanAllah, like I said, if you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open doors for you. And one of the reasons why I didn't have the money was 6 months prior to that, I had just come out of debt, and I was getting married. I was getting married around that time. It was 2015. So I needed money for my wedding and all of that. Alhamdulillah, my wife, she didn't have any money at the time either. And her thing was, after we get married, we should go for Hajj straight away. But I said, look, Hajj isn't fard upon you because you have no money. For Hajj to be fard on you, you need to have money. So I spoke to some ulama, some scholars, and what they said is, if you give her enough money as dowry, the mahar, right? And this is enough for a full Hajj package, then Hajj becomes fard on her anyway. So we agreed upon that. But now she can't go on her own. So someone needs to go with her, and that someone was myself. So I thought, alhamdulillah, Allah has called me again. I done Hajj Badal on behalf of my father-in-law, because I've already done Hajj. Alhamdulillah. So now the question is, I was in so much debt, I had no money. Where did this money come from? Allahu Akbar. And I'll tell you one thing, ayyuhal ikhwa. And I'm not claiming to be a pious person. Wallahi, I'm not claiming to be a pious person. But what I will say is, Allah is a Razzaq. He is the provider. He mentions this in the Quran. This is not me. This is Allah himself saying that Inna Allahu wa Razzaq, that Allah is the provider. The provider is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Money came from places which even I was not aware of. And I'll give you one example. I started looking at my bank account, And I noticed that there was £10 had left my account. And that month, those months, I was being very stingy, very tight with my money because I thought I need to save up. I've got my wedding coming up. I've got Hajj coming up. And I noticed £10 had left my account. So even if £1 had left my account that month, I would have noticed. So then I looked back, the month before that, £10 had gone as well. Until about 4 years now, £10 were being taken out of my account to some company which I didn't know. So I called them up and they said, we thought you signed up for something. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for anything. So what they said was, we're going to refund this money to you. Allahu Akbar. So subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, provided for me from a place which I didn't know. Who puts away £10 and thinks after 4 years I'm going to go for Hajj, and there's about £400 there waiting for me. And like this, there was so much money coming to me. The only answer I can give you, ayyul ikhwa, is I started praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened doors for me, and this money just kept on coming to me for Hajj, not for myself. And I say this as someone, I'm going to say this openly in front of you, ayyul ikhwa. I'm not actually a very pious person, but my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, subhanallah, increased so much that year. So my brothers, if Hajj is fard upon you, I believe it's too late this year. Start planning for next year. You've got a whole year to plan for it. Start planning for it financially, physically, mentally. Put yourself into that box and think, next year I'm going to start going for Hajj. After this Eid al-Adha, I will start looking at packages. I will start talking to people. Physically, I'm going to start training myself also. And to be honest with you, Hajj nowadays, my brothers, is very, very easy. I remember when my father was alive, rahimahullah, when I used to talk to him about Hajj, he used to say Hajj was very difficult. The Jamarat was very difficult. Now we have floors for Jamarat. We have floors for Tawaf. We have floors for Safa and Marwa. Everything has been made so easy. The only thing we need to do is put our finances to a side and start booking and making Hajj, booking and making our ways towards this place. Alhamdulillah. Also, brothers, subhanallah, the very same people upon whom Hajj is fard, and these people decide to not go for Hajj. What does Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say regarding these people? Now, these are not my words. These are the words of Al-Amin As-Siddiq, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. He says in a hadith, to a nearest meaning, that a person upon whom Hajj was fard, and this person chose not to go, and then he died without doing Hajj, he should choose that did he die a Yahudi or a Christian. Allahu Akbar. Imagine your whole life you've been saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, but Hajj was fard on you and you chose not to go. These are not my words. These are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to go for Hajj. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Those of our brothers and sisters who are going for Hajj, may Allah accept from them, make it easy for them. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. And those of us who have already gone for Hajj and Hajj isn't fard on us, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us again and again. Ameen. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Inshallah, so brothers, what I'll do inshallah, I'll just mention the categories of Hajj inshallah today. I was planning to go through the 5 days of Dhul Hijjah, but I don't think time will allow us. Maybe another time inshallah. However, I do these Hajj seminars in different masajid. Inshallah, you can speak to one of the brothers here, Brother Abu Hussein, and he can tell you there's one taking place in Barking, inshallah, which I'll be delivering. Alhamdulillah, it's very good. And I do these seminars for free. The reason why I do it for free, and I'll tell you why, it's not because I'm a very generous and a very kind person. That's not the reason. The reason why I do it for free is because when I see people going for Hajj, I feel like, okay, I can't go for Hajj this year, but let me be a part of you going for Hajj somehow. So I'll get something out of it. I get some sort of satisfaction. And I see people going for Hajj. And I'm telling you, ayyuhal ikhwa, you can ask the uncles who have gone for Hajj. Subhanallah, once you go for Hajj, it's second to none. It's the best place to ever go to. Allahu Akbar. So anyway, there's 3 types of Hajj. There's one called Ifrad, there's one called Tamattu', and there's one called Qiran. And there's a reason behind all 3 of these names. So Hajj Ifrad is when a person puts on his ihram. I've actually got the ihram sheets with me, but maybe for another day, inshallah. He puts on his ihram for the men. Women just put themselves into the state of ihram. Ihram literally means when you make certain things haram upon yourself, such as relations with the wife, and also hunting and putting on perfume. Certain halal things become haram upon you, right? And then for men also, they need to put on 2 sheets. They cannot wear anything which is stitched. Usually this is halal, but at the time of ihram, this becomes haram. And then you put yourself into a state of ihram. Now, a person when he's in the state of ihram, this is the first Hajj which I'm going to mention. This is known as ifrad. Yeah, ifrad is you enter Makkah, right? And with the ihram that you've come in with, or in the state that you've come in with, you stay in that state until the days of Hajj. You do not come out of this state. Now, if you haven't understood this, you'll understand this once I explain the next one, inshallah. The second one is known as tamattu'. Tamattu' is you enter the miqat, you enter Makkah in the state of ihram. You have your sheet around your waist, your sheet on your shoulder, and you're in the state of ihram, right? You go and do your tawaf, you go and do your safa and marwa, and then you shave your head. After shaving your head, you could go back into normal clothing, and men can go back to the women and do what they need to do. I don't think they'll have time for that anyway, but yes, yeah. But it is halal, just like I mentioned. So this is known as tamattu'. And the third one, which is known as qiran. Qiran in Arabic literally means to combine, to join. What do you join in this? So a person goes in the state of ihram into Makkah. He does his tawaf, he does his safa marwa, but then this person does not come out of ihram, right? And then with the very same ihram, he does Hajj. And the reason why it's called qiran, to combine, to join, is because you have combined Hajj, the ihram for Umrah and Hajj together. You combine them both. It can be very challenging. Those 5 days of Hajj can be very challenging, but I'll tell you something, my brothers, inshallah. Now, you know, it may be challenging, but it's beautiful. Wallahi, it's beautiful. And it's so easy now. It's become so easy now. Subhanallah. I remember my father used to come back from Hajj every time. I'm talking about the 80s and the 90s. Every time he used to come back from Hajj, and even early 2000, he would come back with a bruise on his face, or a bruise on his head, or a bruise on his eye. And I'll ask him, Dad, what happened to you? And he'd be like, okay, we went to throw stones at the jamarat, at the shayateen. And someone threw a big rock and it fell on my head, or it fell on my face. None of that happens now. It's become very easy. It's become very easy. You can literally go in front of the jamarat and throw stones. So brother, inshallah, you know, our time has come to an end. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open doors for us all to go for Hajj, inshallah. I've already made this dua, but I'll make it again. And if Hajj is fard upon you, ayyuhal ikhwa, please do not delay. If you're not going this year, start planning for next year. I would say cut down on the other holidays. Don't go Bangladesh, don't go Pakistan for a year or two. Start taking out your summer holidays. Start eating less maybe. If you smoke, give up smoking. Do you understand? Start eating less of these snacks and all that. Stick to normal food. And you'll see, and most of all, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you'll see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide for you. I'm saying this to you, yeah, as a person who's not even that pious. And I'm telling you the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for me, because I made that intention. Allahu Akbar. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open doors for you, inshaAllah. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا اللهم فيمن عافيت، وتولنا اللهم فيمن توليت، وبارك لنا الله لنا فيما اعطيت، وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت، فانك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك، إنه يغفر الذنوب ولا يعز من عاديت، ولا يذل من واليت، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم، واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت الذي تجعل الحزن سهلا إذا شئت. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم. سبحان الله رب العرش العظيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم. لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته يا أرحم الراحمين، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. أقيموا الصفوف. استووا واعتدلوا وتراصوا وسدوا الخلل. Straighten the lines, please. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والسماء ذات البروج واليوم الموعود وشاهد ومشهود قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك الفوز الكبير إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.